Hello, Maurieo sets up a site plan. AUTOCAD 2018. Hello, welcome. In this instructional video, I'm going to show you how I set up a site plan. I'm a land surveyor, and our architectural technicians have been asked to draw up a site plan, and I'm going to just in this video show you how I might do it as a surveyor, which possibly is slightly different to how architectural technicians in general do it, but perhaps it'll help to understand and explain a little bit about land surveying and site plans. So let's head on over to the big screen and see what we've got there. So first of all, here's our site plan. Let's have a quick look at it here. As we can see, we've got the boundary here, bearings 64 degrees, 27.8 meters, 334 degrees, 43.30 meters, and so it's actually a rectangle here, corner section on a road. Just note that it is let's have a look here. It's at a scale of 1 to 200 on an A4 format. Alrighty, so let's come over here and, well, start drawing using AUTOCAD 2018. So here it is here. I have, what have we got here? I've opened a drawing, and I've used a little template that I've got, an A4 template that I've set up here with my things and what have you that I like. So here it is, my A4 template that I've all got set up here. So whenever we set up a drawing, we have to nominate a template at the start. So I've nominated this one here. Alrighty, now I'm going to first of all start over in model space at this point, and that's it all there, my model space. Over here I'll just get rid of the properties there, and I'll get rid of the layer. So there's my model space there. So the first thing I'm going to do is have a look at the units. And, well, here's the units here. And I've got it set up as decimals. I would set the precision at 0. Millimeters I'm going to work in. Degrees, minutes, seconds. 0 degrees, 0, clockwise, and make sure you've got the direction as north. Okay, so now we're all good to go. Here's our origin here. That'll be coordinate 0, and over here, as you can see, and just down here is our coordinate values. Now we can set everything in real world coordinates that might be available, like for instance New Zealand Geodetic Datum 2000, Mount Eden Circuit, which is the prevalent coordinate system here in the Waikato. But I'm just going to go with it how it is, how it's operating. So I'm going to just draw a line. So draw a line, and I'm going to draw, I've got this little top line. So I'll start at this point here. Okay, so line, I'll specify the first point. So I'm just going to go there, all right, and I want to go 64 degrees. Now that would, 0's up there, 90's there, so 64's out there. What I do is go shift and the less than symbol. which shows up there, and then I just go 64 degrees, 00 minutes, 00 seconds, if I had degrees, minutes, seconds. I don't in this case. And now I'm going to push enter, and make sure you get that angle override situation. And there it is, there's your 64, and all you need now is the length, 28700 millimeters, and that's that one there. Okay, now I want to come down here, and it says 334 is the bearing there. So I'm just going to go shift less than 334 degrees. That's all we need. And there's that angle override. Now 334 is actually up there. If a bearing is greater than 180 and we want to go in the reverse direction, subtract 180, which in this case would be 154 degrees, which is down there. And here's our distance, 43300. That's that there. Now next one out here, put approximately where it's going to go, and well, it's 64 degrees. Now again, that's not 64. If it's if a bearing is between 0 and 180 and you want to go in a different direction, you add 180, which would be 244. But doesn't matter, because 64 degrees, as we know, is actually out there. So we can put that in there using auto shift there, 64 degrees, enter. That gives us that angle override, but we know that it's actually down there from our diagram, and it's 28700. There we go, and then we'll just close off like that there for that one. Okay, so now let's just have a look at this and make sure we've got it right. So I'm going to click on there, and I'm going to right click and look at the properties, and I've got them locked in there, and there you can see 64 degrees and 28700. Click on here, 154 degrees, 43300. Just note that if you click here, that gives you multiple selections, which obviously you can't read anything there, so you've got to make that single selection. And you can see this one here, 33400, 43300. This one here, that's going to be 244. Subtract 180 is 64, so that's all good, 28700. So there we are, that's our little thing there. Now I haven't taken any thing here with regards to layers, so I'm just going to layers, turn layer properties there, and I'm going to create a new layer called boundaries. Boundaries, and put that there like that. I'm going to make that the current layer, and what I'm going to do is select all these ones, these new ones here, and I'm going to put them in the boundaries layer. So they're all the boundaries there in the boundaries layer. And I'm also going to for the boundaries layer, I'm going to make the line width of that layer, which I'll make this a bit bigger here. Oh, come on. The line width of that layer, I'm going to make it 0.5, 0.6 millimeter. we usually, as surveyors, we usually make our boundary width that. And you can see there that I've got line widths all turned on here. There's my line widths turned on, so I can turn them on and off. Okay, so just for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now I'd like to have little peg symbols at the boundaries, but the thing is, if I put a little circle in and then I trim the boundaries, obviously the distance will go wrong. So I want to show you how I'm going to do that there. So first of all, let's create a new layer called a new layer, which will be that one there, and we'll call that pegs. But before I go too much on that, I'm actually going to go into the 0 layer, and I'm going to make the peg, I'm going to make it as a block. Okay, so here's my little block here. I'm going to go C, enter, and put a circle there. And I'm going to make it a diameter of 1. And if I zoom in there, you can just see it there. There it is there. And so what we want now is to, we don't want to see that, we just want to see that a nice clear circle. So, well, that's how surveyors do it anyway. So what I'm going to do is put something on top of that to obscure that, and that something is called a wipeout. And to do that, what I do here is no, not a rectangle, I want a polygon. Okay, and the number of sides is going to be 50, and the center of the polygon is going to be there. And it's going to be a circumscribed circle, and it's going to have a radius of 1. Okay, so now if we turn on selection cycling here, and now we select in here, you'll see that we've got a polyline and a circle. Okay, so now's where we create the wipeout, WI, and that'll give us wipeout. And it's P for polyline, because we've created that polyline or closed polyline. So P, enter, and select the polyline. And that's it there. And then we're going to erase the polyline, and it'll leave our little wipeout like that there. So now we see, if we zoom on there, we've got a wipeout and a circle. And you can see there that the line goes underneath the little wipeout. Pretty nifty, really. Okay, now I'm going to create that into a block, make that into a block. So we're going to create a block here, and, create block. Where's that? Okay, create block, like that. Create block. Oops. So that's not going. Right. Okay, let's see what we can do. Create block. Create block. Ah, that's it there. So that took a while. Alright, so the block, I'm going to call it is peg. Okay, and the base point is going to be, the pick point is the middle here, which is there, like that, yeah. And select some objects, so I'm going to select both of them actually, so I'll just go like that with the green and select both of them. So that's finished my object selection. Okay, we've selected some objects. We're going to convert that to the block. That should be it. Okay. Now there we go. So now when I select on here, I look at my things, I've got a block reference and it's called peg. Alright, so that's all good. So, and I'm going to now put that in the layer called pegs. So I created it in one, but I'm just going to put it in the layer called pegs. Okay, so that's the layer pegs. Oh, I noticed that the layer pegs has got a 600 mil. That's not what we want. What we want is we want that to be the default. Okay. All right. That's all good there like that. So when we click our line widths, we can see that it just comes like that. It's all good. Okay. We'll just check what our default line width is there. So I think we've actually, well, we'll just go like that. Okay. Right, now let's just go to the home button here, and we'll just click over here on our line weight settings, and oh, that's come up on my second screen, so I'll just bring that into here, and I've set my line weight settings at a default of 0.05. The default when you open AutoCAD is 0.25, but I like mine at 0.05. If I actually want to set it at 0.00, but AutoCAD keeps flicking it back to the default. So if I put it at 0.05, it stays at that. So that's what I've got that at there. Okay, so let's now let's go up here. So we can either put our peg in. I might just turn off these here for now. And all right, so we can go CP for copy. And we can select a base point, and then we can just go over to various points there. And that puts that little circle one in there. Okay. Now, as with all AutoCAD things, there may well be easier ways of doing this. Now, this is the way that I do it. And that one there. And they should be in the pegs layer. Okay, so there we go. So that's all good there. All right, so that's our boundary all set up. So let's go over now to our template, which I've got set here. Now the A3 one, I don't want the A3, I want it in A4. So I'm going to delete that one. Okay, all right, so I want it in A4. Here's my A4 template. I want it in model space. And so let's go to zoom extents. And there's our little thing there. But the scale that we wanted at, is 1 to 200. So, and that's the scale we want to annotate it at, but there is no 1 to 200 here. It only goes 1 to 100. So, let's put it at 1 to 200. So I'm just going to, oh, that's not good. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to go here, and I'm going to go down to custom. That's what I'm going to do, custom, and I'm going to just put myself on 1 to 100, and I'm going to add, and I'm going to add 1 to 200. Now typically at surveying we work at larger scales, well, smaller scales actually, but larger numbers, because we're showing large bits of land, whereas typically architects and architect technicians are working with just the house, which fits on the bit of land, not the area around it. So that's 1 to 100. We want 1 to 200, so we'll put it there like that, and that's 1 to 200, and as you can see, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to turn it so that it fits on the page. Now we know that up there is, well, we can see that it's 64 degrees, and we probably want that parallel to the top, so we're going to have to bring that around that way 26 degrees, which is a negative. That's the negative direction for AutoCAD. For bearings it's thing, but we're in AutoCAD it's there, so we're going to have to swing it negative 26 degrees. Now that's also going to swing the north point, but unfortunately the north point that I've got here is my north point's in paper space. So what I'm going to do is swap the north point into model space so that it'll swing with the when I swing it around. So I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to go here to model space here, and I'm going to go insert insert a block, and I'm going to insert a circular north point. That's too big there, so there's my base point there, and oh, that's too big. So I'm going to maybe scale that, SC for scale, specify the base point, it doesn't matter particularly, and I'm going to make it 0.2. So that's round about where I want it. And what layer do I want that in? Yeah, well, it's in layer 0 at the moment. I probably want it in my north point layer. There we go. And so I'll just move it there, and let's have another go at that. I'm having a bit of trouble moving it over where the view cube is there, so I'm just going to drop it there for now, and maybe I can go to my home button, and I'm wondering whether I can, that's it there, just turn the view cube off. Might be a possibility. Viewport lock, viewport scale, maximize. No, it's just proving to be a bit of a pain. No, that's not where it is there, but let me, anyway, we'll come back to that. Okay, so let's get in there, and we're in model space. Okay, now what we want to do is we're unlocked in there, and we haven't got this set. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I'll put that, I can move it, I'll just put it up in, I'll turn off the snaps, put it about there, so that might be a bit better. Okay, and right now, so we want to turn it. So we turn it around just in the viewport. We're in making sure that we're in model. We go DV, which is for view. Okay, and we select all the things we want to turn, which is those there. Okay, we've finished that selection, so I'm just pushing spacebar, and then I'm going to put twist for TW for twist, and I'm going to twist it minus 26 degrees, and that's where I want it there. That's great, and just push enter, and that's exactly how I want it. And you can see how the UCS is there, and you can see how my crosshair is orientated there as well. So now we need to get this scale correct here, which is 1 to 200, and then we'll pan that all in place, and there's my north point is there, just about where I want it. Put that there like that. Spacebar locks that in place, and we'll lock it down there, and there we have our little thing in place. But if we look up in here, we can see that because we're at a scale of 1 to 200, our pegs are a little bit on the tiny side there. So let's first of all make sure we're in model space, and we're at 1 to 200. That's all locked in there. We'll turn our line weights on, and oh, we can see there that very much our pegs are hidden all amongst it in here. So what I'm going to do is just go up here and there and turn on the quick select, entire drawing, and we'll just, the block, we'll find all of the block references called of the name, and not the circular move but the peg. Okay, and we've got all those, and we can see down here that there's 4 of them, and the scale, so they probably need to be I'm going to go, because it's 1 to 200, I'm going to go 20 times bigger. No, they need to be perhaps 200 times bigger. There we go, 200. So that'll make them all very nice. Okay, and there, and we'll just check that they're in the right, that's in the pegs layer. All right, and now we can go zoom, enter, extend center, and there we are. It's all nicely set up like that with our little pegs and what have you, and we can select on here, and there we go, 64 degrees, 287, so it's all good. Now the other thing I'd like to show you is how to, we probably don't need the layer one there at the moment, so, oh, well, we might need the layer one there at the moment. So how to label these here like that, so and also we'll drop that in there like that, so we've got that there. Okay, and just get this set up. Okay, so let's go home, and well, we do need to go to the layer properties, and I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to call it boundary, B-O-U-N-D, O-Y. I'll call it dims for dimensions dims boundary. So I can have all my dimension layers in a particular area or whatever, but boundary dimensions like so. So that's my dims boundary, and I'm going to make that the current, double click it to make that the current one. Right, now let's do some annotation there. So we go to the annotate one here, and for my text I use an annotative dimension text style called annotative, and I have it 2 millimeters high. I have it set at that. 2 millimeters is the minimum amount of the minimum height that you want stuff at. If any smaller than that, it starts to clog up and becomes hard to read. So this boundary here, let's we don't need our layers there, so that'll give us a bit more room. So what I use annotative, and I use single line text, and so I just put it approximately there, and I want my single line text to come out here like that. All right, and in this case here I want to write 64, hold down the Alt key, 248, and it hasn't worked the first time. It never seems to escape. 64, hold down the Alt key, 248. No, never works the first time. 4, Alt 248. Nope. I assure you this does work. So I've got to there, go back, 64, Alt 248 degrees. I don't know why it takes that long to work, but it does. It's always a minute. Seconds, double hit, and then the distance, which is, I'm going to stick with millimeters, 28700, enter. Okay, and that's that there, and then I might just position that where I want it. Move. You don't have to go anywhere. I sometimes just click there like that, and roughly there. I know it's 2 millimeters high, so around about a millimeter or so above the line's pretty good. Okay, now you can just check the properties of it, and you can see there that well, it's what it's written as, 64 annotative, and the rotation, yeah, well, it's a bit difficult with the rotation here, because everything's turned around. So I've done it sort of by eye. If you wanted to make that rotation exact, you could just put 90 degrees, because we know we've turned it through 26. So that means it's exactly parallel to the line there, like so. And that's it there. That should be 2 millimeters high. And so, well, I'll just go and do one of these other ones here, maybe. I've got that one on top, haven't I? So yeah, put this one on the outside perhaps. So let's just do one more single line. Put it about there. Put that up there like that. Looks pretty good. And then that will be 334 Alt 248. Working now. Space 00 minutes, space 00 seconds, 2 spaces, 43300. Enter, enter. So that's it there, and then we move it where we want it. Just round about the middle, sort of about there. Yep. So yeah, that's all good. If you did want to adjust it exactly 359, the exact rotation there would be 0 to make it parallel to the line. Okay, that's all good there. Now, I've done that in paper space. I actually meant to do that in model space. Yes, I should have done that in model space. So I'll see if I can fix that. So what layer there? Dim's boundary. That should be in there like that. Change space. Is that change space? Yep. Okay, so that should sort it out. And yep, that's model. Paper space. Change space. Okay, what's happened now? Paper model. Let's have a look here. I don't quite know what's gone on there. Oh yeah, you'll see here. All right. Now you'll see here that that's there. It's in model space. All right. There and there, but it's not because in model space it's not. I've got the individual picking, so I changed that to model space, but in model space it needs to have the annotation scale here, which is that one there. Otherwise it won't show. So yeah, so both of these here should need to be 1 to 200. So we'll delete or add 1 to 200. Okay. Okay. All right. And now we've in all sorts of bother here. And you can see there if you go to properties. So it's very important that you get your space right. So this has put the paper text at 400. We just wanted it 2. Paper text height. Okay, so that should all go good there now. All right, so that's, and notice that in model space everything is still in the correct orientation. So when we come back now to paper space, we're all good there. Remember we're twisted here, so that's yep, rotation. I don't know what's going on there, but it seems to be all right. 334. Oh, that's yes, because we did it in paper space. If we do it in model space, it's all the rotation is exactly, and that should have alerted me to that as well. So keep getting into model space. So that's your model space one. Just note how the rotation is now correct because I did those other ones in paper space. So that's everything sort of sorted out there. It's all good. And we can yeah, come 1 to 200. We've got our text in there. We've got our north point pointing the right way, text all set up and everything like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. Pretty much how we sort of wanted it there, and we'll make that full scale. And yeah, we can sort of save it there like that. So there you are. You have it fitting in the model space, and we've had a few little problems along the way, but we've sorted them out, and you can see that some of the issues that do arise, making sure that one, you're in model space when you're working. Oh, that was what I did want to make sure that I had those in the correct layer. So there they are there, and they're in Dim's building. Yep, that's all good. Okay, and we've got our little boundaries all set up there, and our boundary lines or boundary layers, and yeah, and the pegs all set up there in the now when you zoom, it does this thing where it goes back to paper space, so we've got to continually just making sure we're in model space. So that's all fine there, and of course we could come back to model space here and work over here, but now we have to be a bit careful about the orientation of things in the layout, because we've twisted them around. So there's quite a few little issues there associated with the whole thing, but all in all, I hope that gives you a bit of an appreciation of site plans and setting them up, and certainly turning them to fit into the onto your plans, and how to draw them with the correct orientation and bearings. If you've got any questions, you could put your questions in the comments below the video. I check my comments most days. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, click the thing there, and you could get notifications. I do vlog daily, so if you click the notification button, you will get daily notifications, which might not be what you want, but certainly appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. Any questions in the comments below the video, and if you'd like any requests for other bits and pieces related to CAD and what have you, only too happy to oblige. All good. Cheers, and well, we'll hopefully see you again.